Good Sunday morning, everybody. Welcome on in. It is Fighters Fury here on 790 The Ticket. We have a new heavyweight champion of the world, Tyson Fury. 7th round stoppage of Deontay Wilder yesterday. The Gypsy King gets the lone belt that he has yet to hold, the WBC heavyweight title that Deontay Wilder had defended 10 times before that, and he ended up stopping who has been really the unstoppable, and a great rematch performance by Tyson Fury. And it's funny, like, you get onto these shows, and it's funny, I come out of these ones where I just swing and a miss of what I think is going to happen. Like, I stepped up to the plate. It was like Giancarlo Stanton against a slider in the dirt. It was that bad a whiff. What I thought was going to happen in this fight. I told you guys last week that I thought, Deontay Wilder, having the experience of being in there with Tyson Fury, being a little bit bigger, I felt like it was going to be enough to have that, that kind of experience, and that he'd be able to deliver that bomb at some point in the middle of the rounds, and he would stop Tyson Fury. Whoops. Not even close. In fact, it's this is what we like to call this the opposite result of that, because Tyson Fury actually ended up being the one stopping him in the 7th round, and that was the prediction that I had made last week, was Wilder was going to stop Fury in the 7th round. But these are the nights. I got to tell you, a lot of people go out and they will, when something completely wrong happens, they'll go and they'll blast the individual of why wrong happened. I come out of nights like this so just wildly impressed with why I was proven wrong, so impressed with Tyson Fury and the performance that he put forth. This guy's amazing. He really, really is. And this is the thing that has to really impress you about Tyson Fury and what he put forth. This is a guy who basically, he took a rematch, and a lot of the times rematches happen. It's a lot of the time, it's same song and dance that it was the fight before, or some element of the fight is going to be cranked up a little bit more. It's, if a guy wins a fight by decision, he might win it a little bit more lopsided. Or if a guy knocks somebody out or knocked him down late, he'll get to it a little bit quicker. This fight, he took the first fight against Deontay Wilder and he threw it out the window. He took a fight where, and a style that is basic, that won him that lineal championship against Vladimir Klitschko, where he is hypnotizing you like a cobra. He's in and out, being elusive. This 6'9" giant who moves like somebody who's 3 weight classes lower than what he is. Just will jab, frustrate you, make you miss, and that's going to be his key to victory. And, the thing that is incredible about Tyson Fury is a lot of people who have that much success in their career never lost a fight. Their ability to adapt is, it's not something you see very often. You saw this with Floyd Mayweather, where he switched, from the pretty boy to Money Mayweather later on in life, where he kind of switched a style for life. But this was, for longevity. But with Tyson Fury, this was a switch of style to win a fight that he thought he had very much in hand the last time, but left enough of a window to not only say, I was half a second away from losing, and I didn't fight in a way where the 3 judges that matter thought that I did good enough a job. And it takes a special type of individual to take stock of that, go back into the lab, then decide you want some new chemists with you while you're making the experiment happen, and come up with this type of game plan, because that's not a Tyson Fury we see. That's not a guy who has been the guy who beat Vladimir Klitschko, who it really hasn't been his bread and butter, and he decided that the best way to beat Deontay Wilder, I could box his socks off all day. I could win on points easily. I can stay away, but maybe I slip up once. And Deontay's never been made uncomfortable, and he hits me with that shot, and night. Instead, he did exactly what he had to do, or did exactly what he said he was going to do. And listen, I hear a lot of fight promotion. As a guy who loves boxing, who loves mixed martial arts, a lot of things are said before fights that are complete bullcrap. This guy told you he was going to go in there, go for the knockout in the second round. He had all that weight. It was going to be trouble for Deontay Wilder, and it was. It was. He went in there. First round, was really trying to impose his will. Second round was a little bit more even. Deontay was flushed him a little bit with jabs to the body. It looked like he was getting his bearings about him, but it was still, a Deontay Wilder who was going backwards, who was never given any type of range to set up his right hand or get anything uncomfortable. He missed a couple of big bombs early. But the second round was better for him. If there was any round you were obviously going to score for Deontay, that would have been it. But then the game changer happened. That third round happens, and Deontay Wilder, he is hit and with a monster shot, puts him down, and it was curtains from there. I mean, it was very similar to Andy Ruiz versus Anthony Joshua in that once that first knockdown happened in the third round, it was only a matter of time. It just looked like he never gathered himself. This was very similar to that. Tyson Fury puts Deontay Wilder down, and he really just never was the same guy. You start going to the corner, the ear's bleeding. You never see. How often have we seen a guy's ear get broken in a fight? That's crazy. I mean, they're saying immediately, look, if his ear's bleeding like that, that means you probably have a busted eardrum. His equilibrium is going to be knocked up, and his balance was off all over the place. There were a couple where him and Tyson Fury got tripped up. There were ones where he was just getting fallen. There was one body shot that Tyson Fury hit him with, which maybe it was devastating. He's a 6'9" man strong, but it just seems like it was either exhaustion or bad balance from Deontay where he got put on his ass again. It was from then on out just an absolute blowout from Tyson Fury, and a matter of time before Deontay Wilder was going to get taken out. And Tyson Fury took away a couple of elements. One, he was the aggressor in this fight. He wasn't fighting side to side like he normally does. He wasn't inviting in his opponent to miss a lot of shots to tire themselves out. He took that 270 pounds plus and was going forth on Deontay Wilder. He attacked a buzzsaw with a bowling ball. That's basically what happened. He went in there. You had this unbelievable force in Deontay Wilder. Really the surest thing in the sport, if we're going to be honest. Like, you talk about 43 wins, 42 knockouts, it's about as sure a thing you get in boxing. And even in his one draw was half a second away from doing the same thing. So you take that, and if you're Tyson Fury, you think, I got robbed this time. I'll fine-tune some things, and now I'll definitely put it out there. No. This guy went and he took the fight to Deontay Wilder. Took it to him. And that is what just has to be commended. Think about this. Tyson Fury now has been a guy who, when he first made his comeback, had 24-year-old Ben Davidson. They had good success. It's not like it wasn't a bad plan that he had forth. Took in took in a little bit of tutelage from Freddie Roach, and then decides, you know what, gonna go to Kronk. Let's just scrap the plan. Let's go do something completely different. That is just so impressive to just go get a new mindset, a fresh set of eyes to take all that game planning and put forth against the same opponent who, in his mind, he beat easily the last time, but slipped up badly. Slipped up badly in that he got caught. And instead decided, I got to put him down. I can't win a decision in America, whether you believe that's true or not. I mean, it was the British judge back in the last fight who gave him the draw. But he said, F all that. I'm way bigger than this guy. I'm going to come forth like a wrecking machine, and I'm just going to hit him with everything I got, and eventually one of them is going to connect, and it's going to do damage. And it is pretty weird. Like, look, his whole MO his entire career has been weird. I mean, he's a weird individual who at his size, fighting the way he typically does, the fact that he doesn't have this devastating power is kind of crazy when you think about it. It's not like he doesn't have none. I mean, like, look, 30 wins, 21 knockouts. It's not nothing. I mean, he's stopped people, but for the most part, his best skill set at the elite levels has been his elusiveness, his guys to make people look foolish. And instead, he turned himself into the imposing force. And that's why it was so impressive from from Tyson Fury in his win in the rematch over Deontay Wilder. It's fascinating what comes next. Where do they go from here? Because Deontay was taken to the hospital afterwards. That he was in bad shape. Bad shape from, the busted up ear, and that led to him taking a lot of beatings in the corner. I know he was pissed about his corner stopping it, his assistant trainer throwing in the towel. There was some disagreement between the head trainer and the assistant trainer for making that call, where JD said that he does, we don't agree with that. I would have wanted Deontay Wilder to continue. Look, he was taking an absolute ass kicking. If there's gonna be anybody who can have the ultimate Hail Mary, it's Deontay Wilder. But it wasn't there. It wasn't there. He wasn't throwing any punches, and it could have gotten a lot worse. You're talking about a guy who had his eardrum busted. Well, this is a man who made a lot of money that night. He's got a lot of kids. He's still gonna be a big name, and you just got to be at a point where, like, look, just move on to the next one. You got beat this one. And I still think he's going to be one of the best watches in the sport for however long he wants to do it. It's a shame that it took as many fights as it did for Deontay Wilder to get to these Tyson Fury levels, that it took that many times. And a lot of people are going to go out there and going to say, he was exposed. Why do you go out there and you let him, you harbor this ineptitude of letting him get away with everything and having this ultimate eraser. And, I saw our guy Teddy Atlas say that, we saw that he's not a good fighter. People fail to realize, like, this is a sport that you don't have to just go win everything on points. It's a way to win, but there are multiple ways to win. But how can we sit here where a guy just got paid $25 million guaranteed to fight Tyson Fury in a rematch, had 10 title defenses? How you're going to say that's not a successful career at the age of 34 is beyond me and beyond stupid. We do this with boxers all the time, and it really, really, really infuriates me, because we sit here on these microphones and, a lot of us don't know Jack Bleep, and a lot of us don't know what mental fortitude that takes. We didn't know that Tyson Fury would have the mental fortitude to go in there, completely switch us out, and we don't know what Deontay Wilder, what kind of work he's put in to get to where he is and what he's turned himself into. That guy's an amazing fighter. He's been a great champion and is one of the most fun shows in all of the sport. He really is, because he's one of the guys where, look, maybe he's not fighting the best name that night, but I'm going to go watch because I want to see if he's going to absolutely erupt his opponent and just annihilate him. The Dominic Breazeale fight, the rematch against Bermane Stiverne, still great shows. He turned them into internet memes. It was hilarious. But I know, because I know what's coming for Deontay Wilder. I know that this is going to be, the Monday morning, what is it if it's not quarterback in boxing? This is going to be the Monday morning sparring session where we're all going to be like, oh, this guy, no skill set. How do you not learn these types of things? Look, here's what happened to him. All right, this is the truest of true. He didn't lose a boxing match to Tyson Fury. What happened to him was Tyson Fury decided, you know what? I'm a lot bigger than this guy, and I'm going to come forth, and I'm going to impose my will on him, and I'm going to throw everything I can at him, and let's see if he can get me off. Let's see. That's not a boxing match. Like, he out-brawled him. He went in there and he bullied him. So, I don't know what you thought was, you can't teach Deontay Wilder in the gym to be 40 more pounds and 3 more inches. Especially when you have that shot. This is the other thing. If this was a fight where, you're talking about him getting schooled and, he's getting peppered up all day, you get knocked out. You get knocked down like that in the third round where you're trying to gather your wits the entire time. Well, you don't want to hear about how you're going to be able to set up that range for the right hand and all that type of stuff. This guy's just fighting for survival. It's a hard life, and he showed a lot of heart and didn't want to go out. He was pissed at his corner that they stopped the fight. So, look, that guy's been an unbelievably entertaining watch. The interesting thing is going to be what comes next for these guys. We'll get into a little bit of that next on Fighters Fury. Welcome back, everybody. Fighters Fury continues here. You can text the show 67974. Texts on the ticket are driven by Kendall Toyota and West Kendall Toyota. Can always tell you when it's a big fight because the text line is blown up. Texter writes in, Tobin, if any reports come out about Wilder's camp on health or anything else, he didn't look right before the fight even started. I know he said something to Bernardo afterwards about his leg. I don't think you want to get too into it because, you don't want to be the guy who's looked upon as making excuses. So would it shock me if something came out lower body? No, it definitely wouldn't. The balance was really bad with Deontay Wilder. It's just tough to know if you chalked it up to if he had an injury or if that was Tyson Fury rattling his brain. I don't know. But yeah, he didn't look right. But also, listen, it wasn't very long before he got knocked silly. 3 rounds is not a long time. We're talking about what, 7 minutes, 7-8 minutes before you're in the depth of what's in front of you. So I haven't heard anything yet. Has anybody? The real question becomes, this is what I want to know. Anybody ask Tyson Fury why he licked Deontay Wilder? Because I'd like to know that. I know, like he said they said on the broadcast, and Joe Tess made a point to this where he's like, Fury wanted to taste blood, and now he has. That's not okay, man. You don't lick your opponent. That's weird. It's creepy. It's really fine worthy. I just what was it? He gave it a little chameleon. Blah, blah, blah. Like he was out there looking like Shakira during the halftime show. What the hell was that? You're already kicking the guy's ass. Now you got to lick him? I mean, it just seems like you're running up the score at that point. You're going to go lick the guy? Did anybody ask him about this? I tried finding it on Twitter because I didn't get a chance to watch the post-fight press conference. It's a late night for me. I was at the, it was the D-Wade thing, Wade talk. So we went from Wade press conference. I didn't even see the second half of the Heat game. Went from Wade press conference to the locker room, then left, watched the fight in the parking lot. I watched the fight on my phone in the parking lot. This is where I watched it because I was like, I didn't know how much time I had. I walk out of there from the arena, and I knew this was going to be a challenging night. The only place I knew that was showing it that was close, because I'm talking like when I say I left, Gerald Washington had just gotten knocked out by Charles Martin. I was like, that means I probably got like 30 minutes, 30 to 35 minutes, because I'm talking you got the package, anthems, and ring walks. I knew the ring walks were going to be elaborate. Of course they were. Tyson Fury and Deontay Wilder. These guys put on a show when it comes walking to the ring, which I love. And I was looking at my options like, I think Hard Rock Miami might watch it. And I don't even remember the last time I've been to Hard Rock Miami, the one at Bayside. I think they might show because I feel like they show big UFC fights. And sure enough, I went to their Instagram and they had it. If I had time, I would have gone to like the Cheetah. That would have been ideal. But I'm talking like I knew I left that arena. I could have hit traffic. I could have hit who knows what. But then I was thinking to myself, well, what if I go there and what if I go there and then all of a sudden I get there and it's no bueno. So look, had to bite the bullet and did the old ESPN Plus, bought the pay-per-view, watched it on my phone. It hurt. I'm not gonna lie. But it was a good show. Like, that's the one thing. Whenever, you fork over the pay-per-view money, there's a couple things. One, I am happy now that we do have an avenue where I don't have to be at a television to watch the fight. But it's if I am going to fork over $80 for a match, I would like to be on my couch watching it, typically. But this is one of those ones where you're just like, yeah, it's good. You got this show in the morning, you got to see it, and that's that. So I just want Len Weiner to know, I'm sorry, Len. Parking might be a little bit more expensive that night. Wink. If you wonder why parking at Bayside cost $110 instead of my typical $30, now you know why. It's gonna be like, why is this expense report so heavy? I'm like, yeah, the D Wade night, they were gouging prices. I don't know what to tell you. Another texter writes in, hey Tobin, Deontay Wilder has to get a new camp. Has to. He was a one-trick pony, albeit an obliterating one trick. Caught up with him. He has to become a better boxer. Look, I get you. This has been said about Deontay Wilder's entire career. I don't know what camp can grow him that size. I got to be honest with you. Like, I know what you're saying. I'm not saying that it's wrong. Like, ideally, yeah, you'd like a guy with that kind of power to sharpen the skill set a little bit more, I guess. Guy's been really good. He's been really, really good. And he didn't lose a boxing match. He lost to a guy who was 6'9", 270-plus pounds, who decided to fight like a guy who was 6'9", 270-plus pounds instead of a guy. Typically, Tyson Fury, I would say Tyson Fury fights like let's say like a 6'3", 180 fella. Light on his feet, dancing, sharp punches. This time he was just like he fought him like he fought a lot like a bare knuckle brawler. Like it was ugly. He went in there straight forth, throwing some pretty wild shots at him, to be honest with you. And the one that got him was really, but almost got him in the back of the head. Didn't get called or anything like that, but really, 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 really hurt Deontay Wilder. And so at that point, he's fighting a guy who is he's fighting a wounded bird there. Like it's pretty curtains in there because Deontay's on the catch up, because now you're talking about a guy who not only doesn't have those boxing skill sets, but now is hurt bad. But I will say this, anybody who wants to question Deontay Wilder's heart or anything like that, or the ability to get through, he's been through trouble. I mean, go watch his first fight with Luis Ortiz and watch the trouble that he got through to go and win that fight. This is not a guy who hasn't been able to weather the storm before. But Tyson Fury's a better fighter than Luis Ortiz, and I love Luis Ortiz. Luis Ortiz is one of the best on the planet. Tyson Fury is the best on the planet. So, in regards to what comes next, we're going to find out if Deontay is going to implement his rematch clause, which is, I guess, has to be picked in 30 days. Now, I don't know what that means for timeline of fight, because I'm not a doctor. It just, the way I would figure is busted up eardrum. That's no bueno. Like, I don't know. I don't know about how long that's going to take to recover. But you have a loss like that, you're Deontay Wilder. I would hope that this is not a guy we see in the ring again until December. If you're Tyson Fury, he's got 3 more fights on his contract with Top Rank. So if he's got to do the rematch with Wilder, he's got to do the rematch with Wilder. It's not unsellable because Wilder does have that knockout power. But you think about a guy who many people thought that he should have lost the first fight on score, even though he had the awesome knockdown in the 12th round. And now you have this performance. It's not one I'm dying to see. It's also, I think one of the problems is this fight was so heavily promoted, I feel like it needs a little bit of breathing room. That's just me. I would like to see Tyson Fury take on Anthony Joshua, because I would like to see somebody have all the belts. Even though I don't even, Anthony Joshua can waltz around with as many belts as he wants. What that moment was for Tyson Fury yesterday was him reclaiming the throne. It really was. Because he never got to defend his title. We talk about lineal championship and all this stuff. He beat Vladimir Klitschko in a terrible fight. I mean, it really was not an entertaining watch. But he never got to defend the crown. It was talked about, it was pushed back, and then he had his breakdown. And we never got to see what the reigning heavyweight champion of the world, Tyson Fury, would be. And so they did this great marketing push of the lineal championship, whatever the hell that means. It's just a thing they throw out there. Fine. But from my because, one of the funny things is Lennox Lewis retired on top. It's not a thing. So, but to the point is, last night was his first opportunity to finally really proclaim, I'm the guy at heavyweight. That's it. And I don't think Anthony Joshua has a rightful place at the throne right now. I really don't. He's number 2. He's number 2 right now. Because here's the thing. That performance that Anthony Joshua had against Andy Ruiz versus what Tyson Fury did in his rematch against Deontay Wilder, they're not even in the same stratosphere. Because AJ went out there, got knocked out by Andy Ruiz on short notice. He came back and fought the safe fight in the rematch against Ruiz. An unmotivated, out of shape, not taking it seriously, Andy Ruiz. And he fought the safest fight possible to go get his belts back. Tyson Fury probably had the blueprint to beat Deontay Wilder already. And he decided, F that, took a lighter, lit the blueprint on fire, and built a new house from scraps. That's what he did. Now, he had a hell of a foundation. He's 6'9", 270. He's a big boy. But that's not the style he goes and wins fights. And that's how he went and decided to go do it. And to go take the championship like that, a really dominant victory where you make the most intimidating guy in the sport look like that, there's no question to me who the heavyweight champion is. So they can fight for the unified belts, and you could say this is to determine who the true champion is. To me, it's already determined. Tyson Fury is the true heavyweight champion of the world. Now, that doesn't mean that Anthony Joshua can't go in there and try and go win the true heavyweight championship of the world. But I know how that fight promotion is going to go, where they're like, oh, all the belts on the line, finally, unified. That's great. I'm glad. I would like that to be decided. But to me, it's more so the story of, you want to talk about who the challenger in this fight is? That's Anthony Joshua. It's not Tyson Fury. Tyson Fury is, bar none, the heavyweight champion of the world. He's the guy right now. Okay? That was him reclaiming the throne last night. That's what that was. As far as Deontay Wilder, what's next for him? If he doesn't do the rematch, if he takes some time, if he decides not to implement his rematch clause, which I don't know how important that is. I don't know what the money stipulations of it. Obviously, the money was good, so there is that. But Deontay Wilder, unless he just completely falls off a cliff after this, I don't think is a guy who's not going to be able to get back to a title fight with Tyson Fury. So would it be better for him to go out there, as this person says, maybe get a new camp, or maybe throw some kind of wrinkle, some new fresh coat of paint on a refurbished Deontay Wilder, maybe go fight an Andy Ruiz and knock him out, and then you find your way back to who won out of Anthony Joshua versus Tyson Fury, because both I think are great. One, you have him and Tyson. We know that they do good business, and then there's the long-time rival with Anthony Joshua. I don't think it's a terrible idea for Deontay Wilder to take a break, heal up, and maybe take on a guy like Andy Ruiz, beat him, and let AJ and Tyson Fury scrap it out and, be there to collect whoever it is at the end of it. Or maybe take on a guy like, the hell's the guy? Why is it escaping my name? Dillian White. Dillian White, who's, been chomping at the bit to get a Wilder fight forever. Maybe go do that. I don't know. But I think that it would be better served if Deontay took some time before fighting Tyson Fury again. Because I don't think it's one of these things where he's gonna be unable to ever get that shot again. We're talking about a division as great as the heavyweight division has been, and it is great. It's been better than ever. We're still talking about a playground that has 6 real contenders in it, and he's one of the money guys. So he's always going to be in the talks. We're back after this.